back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight.
5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to the Woodward Tigers postgame, as this is not the show we were all picturing in our minds beforehand, as the Tigers have officially lost their fourth straight game, third straight to the Diamondbacks, as the offense, they didn't show up today. One guy did show up, Tarik Skubal, still on that track to go back-to-back Cy Youngs in the American League, but he's going to need to get some wins. I'm your host, Nicholas Kohloff, Detroit Tigers beat reporter for the network. We have Ryan Rangat here in the Maz chair. You guys know what it is. You guys met him last time. We're going to be breaking it all down today with Jeff and with Gordon in the booths, crushing it as usual. We will also have a special guest on at 7:30. I'm excited to hear his big overreactions. That's going to be a big key to today's show, is the overreactions of a 4-game losing streak, but all of them not negative, not ugly, not bad things about this Tiger team. Some of these young hitters have looked pretty damn good despite the team struggles in the last 4 games, but we got to start with this game here, fellas. 4 straight losses for this Tiger team, and before we get into this game, Ryan, we were feeling great after opening day on that first stream. Kevin McGonigle, the greatest player to ever play the game of baseball. And today, I don't have any doubts about McGonigle, but this team as a whole, dropping their 4th straight, not where you want to be heading home.
No, not at all. And the thing is, opening day in San Diego, they get a win. We're on a high because McGonigle, he starts out 4 for 5, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, and, it seemed like, okay, we got something. We're cooking with some grease here. And then, you leave San Diego 2-1, and then you get swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I got to tell you, it was a cold day today. Skubal was on the bump. He did a great job. We just couldn't provide any offense. But seriously, 2-1 to 2-4. What the hell happened?
Yeah,
that's my question.
Right there with you. I mean, gosh darn it. Like, I was so fired up. I thought we had this in the bag to go 4-2 coming home, move to 5-2, for opening day. And you have Tarik Skubal in your back pocket for this reason, for when this team goes in a slump, because it's not if, it's when for baseball teams to go through the ups and downs. But for this team, to be doing it as the 3rd, 4th game of the season, you don't love that, but you can always expect Tarik Skubal to go out there and save the day, which he did for this Detroit Tigers team. And today, besides the first inning, all he did was put up zeros, and he let, a superstar in Corbin Carroll get a home run. It was the 6th home run, I believe, as a lefty that Tarik Skubal has given up. They named the players. I only recognized a couple of them earlier. But, Corbin Carroll gets them. And you know what? That's great on great. I'm not worried about that. But this offense not getting a run could be a little bit worrisome, Ryan.
Not at all. And right now, Skubal is doing his thing. I mean, right now he's got a 0.69 ERA in his last 2 outings. Today he gets 3 strikeouts. But you talk about our offense. With this offense right now, you look at it on paper, and it looks pretty solid. But you got to remember, we have 2 guys in this offense that haven't been doing anything, and that is Kerry Carpenter. He's starting off. He is struggling.
Yep.
And then you're looking at Riley Green. Still, the strikeouts are still coming. And then you look at the younger guys, all right? Dylan Dingler, McGonigle, Colt Keith. Those are the guys right now that are providing the offense. Heck, you can even throw Parker Meadows in there. He's actually had a pretty good, solid couple games here. So, the offense just has to get going, and this is the one thing that I was a little worried about. You don't want your offense to start off slow because it can turn into losses.
Yep.
And your starting pitching is doing their job, and right now we're just not capitalizing for our pitching.
Exactly. I think we got a little bit unlucky in a couple spots today. And I want to shout out a guy in Colt Keith who just keeps on missing home runs by inches. That's like, I could not believe what I was seeing in Arizona throughout the weekend with Colt Keith getting absolutely jobbed on home runs. And this guy's destroying the baseball right now. And then the rookie, the Messiah, comes up and he strands Colt Keith at second base on one of them when he came up with 2 outs. I wanted to shed tears. I'm like, come on, Kevin. I said earlier on the heavyweights, it felt like watching your own child strike out, because the young rook, like, as he's come through in that, the clutch situation every time so far, was unable to do so there. But we'll get to what happened later in the game, blowing an opportunity after we send it to the sound booth and introduce our Rookie of the Year, Gordon. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? One thing that I wanted to mention, you just talked about how...
Mike Gordo.
Mike O.
Yeah, hey, might have to
Hey, there
reconsider
you
that
say,
Rookie of
Gordo.
the Year.
Shout out.
No, I kid. So you just mentioned how our guy, our Lord and Savior, Kevin McGonigle, left homeboy stranded at base, but that happened to him twice today at the hands of Gleyber Torres, so that karma comes back a little bit.
Yup, exactly. That's right where I wanted to go with this one, because Kevin McGonigle had a big-time triple, and you're thinking, all right, the Tigers are cooking. I don't know if I would rather have up too many players for the Detroit Tigers with less than 2 outs, guy on third, than Gleyber Torres, and with the way he's able to control the bat. And he does that. He controls the bat. He sends an absolute missile right to the first baseman, and McGonigle was going on contact, as the Tigers tend to do with guys at third. They like to go on contact, and that time it ended up burning them with Gleyber Torres unable to get that ball through the hole, and the Tigers get stuck at 0 once again. So that part stunk to see from Gleyber Torres and this team, but once again, want to comment on it, triple by Kevin McGonigle in the biggest spot of the game that you need. This guy showed up with a 3-bagger. So I don't want to, undersell what McGonigle truly has been able to do for this Detroit Tigers team, walking as much as he's striking out. And, it's going to be big time to build off that moving forward. That's a positive in this offense that I'm understanding and seeing so far. What are one of the negatives in your eyes? You talked about Kerry Carpenter. Is anybody standing out to you so far, Ryan?
Right now, it's been Riley Green. Riley Green is still struggling at the dish.
Showed up late, though. Maybe a momentum builder
a little
before
bit,
coming
yeah.
home.
And I have to go back a couple games ago to Justin Verlander. That was one thing that I really looked at and was like, wow, a lot of us expected Justin Verlander, signing with the Tigers, that he was going to come in and be the Justin Verlander of old. And we have to remember he is not that guy anymore. So you might get a start here or there where he does, show the old Justin Verlander of what we saw back in the day. But I would say him. But Kerry Carpenter's really been struggling. I mean, he got dropped down in the lineup. You saw Kevin McGonigle and Colt Keith both move up. Right now there's a lot of questions in this batting lineup right now, just because we've had our big guys struggling. Kerry Carpenter is a guy who they had him batting leadoff, and he struck out 4 times. I believe it was in the first game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong on that, but he's a guy that we really look forward to providing offense for this team, getting on base, getting those runs, and we're just not seeing it right now.
Yeah, we just aren't, and that's going to be a big-time issue if these bats continue to strike out, especially with guys getting on base like a Colt Keith, like a Kevin McGonigle right now, even a Gleyber Torres, who hasn't been, hitting the ball too well, but he's been walking. He had 7 walks entering today, looking dominant still to getting on base. And those 3 guys right now, if they can get on base for guys like Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, and Kerry Carpenter, as we talked about, we have not even mentioning Dylan Dingler, who is having a phenomenal start to his 2026 campaign. If those 3 guys can limit the strikeouts, fellas, we're looking at a really potent potential offense, but we just haven't seen it consistently so far in this one. Gordon?
Yeah, listen, I think the one guy that's been getting a clear message from AJ Hinch is Spencer Torkelson. I don't know if today was a maintenance day, but it feels more like he was benched today, especially because they dropped him to 6th in the order on Tuesday. So, yeah, Spencer Torkelson continues to disappoint me. Early on in the season, he's 3 for 20, the 8 strikeouts. So that's disgusting. And I know it's early, but we're talking about overreactions. That's my current overreaction is Spencer Torkelson. That's not looking good.
Yeah, I do like that as an overreaction. I know we're going to have a bunch. I'm not concerned long-term with Torque yet because I have seen him put 2 30-plus home run seasons along. I did like the fact that last year he did start hot early, which was a big reason why the Detroit Tigers ultimately, almost won 90 games and got off to, the best record in the American League all of basically the first half of last season before they fell apart against the Mariners and the Blue Jays and everyone after that. But I still believe Torque can hit 30 bombs. I think some pressure will get taken off of Torkelson, maybe with a guy like Colt Keith stepping up for this team at the top of the lineup. Maybe it takes a little bit off of Torque, even though Colt's low-key gunning for his job a little bit, boys, at that first base spot. Do you think that puts more pressure on a guy like Torkelson if Colt Keith is doing damage early? Or do you think it takes less pressure off of him that he's not asked to do so much in this Tiger lineup, Jeff?
I think it puts a little bit more pressure on Spencer Torkelson, but, I mean, when you got to look at it from the aspect of there's going to be a point where, Kerry Carpenter isn't doing well right now from the dish either. He's not doing well. So you have him and Spencer Torkelson not doing well. You're not going to send Riley Green anywhere. He's locked in. He's your starter no matter what.
Oh, none of these guys are getting sent down.
But no, not sent down, but at
Okay.
least losing their spot.
Okay.
Because if you were going to look for someone to lose their spot, it's going to be Spencer Torkelson. It's going to be Kerry Carpenter. Because if Colt Keith can continue what he's doing now, continue the success, and Kevin McGonigle continues his success, one of these guys are going to get pushed out of the lineup, out of the rotation, due to the fact that, Kerry Carpenter if he's not hitting, what is he really doing? He's not like an elite defender out there. So it's if he's not hitting, what is he doing? And then we know what AJ Hinch loves to do. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed matchups.
Yep.
That is something that I think for Spencer Torkelson, that is going to end up getting him out the lineup if he cannot get it going, especially if it's a right-handed pitcher on the mound like today. You seen Colt Keith in his spot, and if Colt Keith can, get the defensive part right at first base, then yeah, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Spencer Torkelson.
I do think it could help out in the DH spot, for either Torque I would like to see in that DH spot. But, yeah, Kerry's definitely not winning any Gold Gloves out in right field, with all respect to Kerry Carpenter. But, man, does it look funky at times, a little clunky out there. He's running.
You got to remember.
He almost lost one today in the sun. But,
And, Nick, you got to remember, look, this team has some guys that are right now,
Wenzel
Perez is down there, and I know damn well he's pissed because I know he wants to get back into this team because he has a proven track record to have tough at-bats and to get on base a lot. That's something that when he was healthy, he was doing.
Where are you at with that one,
Kerry
Ryan?
Carpenter can't get it right because Wenzel Perez is a hell of a defender, better than Kerry Carpenter.
Yeah, Wenzel had a hot start down in AAA Toledo as well, as did Max Clark, who has had a couple of really good games back-to-back. Watch out, he's coming up to join his buddy Kevin. He misses him. No, overreaction.
We're getting led by the Rooks.
Overreaction Wednesday here. Speaking of getting led by the Rooks, I have an overreaction that I'm going to get your guys' take on in just a little bit here. But for anybody just tapping in, as I know we are pounding the thumbnail on social media right now. Shout out to everybody. I'm your host, Nicholas Kohloff, with Ryan Rangat in the Maz chair. We got our Rookie of the Year, Gordon, and, of course, Jeff holding it down in the TD booth here. We're going to have a special guest, hopefully, here in just a little bit. But everybody, smash that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. We're going to be here holding it down all Tigers season long, as hopefully this is the only show that we have to do after a 4-game losing streak.
Well, the one thing that we have to remember, and I know that it's early, and I know we're overreacting right now. We're 6 games in, but the one thing that I'm looking at, like we're talking this offense, right? You look at this offense on paper at the beginning of the year. You know, we didn't expect Kevin McGonigle to come out on fire, right?
Yep.
Colt Keith is on fire right now. They're both batting .364. But the one stat that I'm a little worried about right now through 6 games, and it's good for 30th in the major leagues. We are 30th in the major leagues right now. Why? We have 1 home run through 6 games.
Yep.
That is a power issue. Then you look at our team's batting average. Do you guys know where that stands? We're 18th in the major leagues at .215. So right now, moving forward, this team has to get the offense going. And, you know, one thing I would like to point out, when you start out slow like this and you're 2-4, it's good to get the kinks out now. Get them out now. Look at our look at our roster. Look at our lineup. Where can we do better? Where can we get the offense going as we move forward? So, you know, it's tough to watch pitchers like Casey Mize. He had a good outing. Then you have Tarik Skubal. You just don't put up runs for him. And it's kind of disheartening because today Skubal pitched his ass off, and he should have another win in his column. So
I agree with you.
That's kind of where I'm at with this.
No, I'm with you right there, and I just want to give a quick shout-out. I know we talked about Skubal a little bit today. Change up there, slider working, fastball dominant. You know, he was getting into it, but this offense just wasn't showing up for him. And we can get a little bit more on that because the offense showed up for 1 inning yesterday, it was. And it was a 5-run 3rd inning. And the Detroit Tigers failed to do anything besides that. And that's where I want to go because Casey Mize was so dominant yesterday with that splitter. It was the best I've ever seen. And the reason Casey Mize was the #1 overall pick by the Detroit Tigers was because when he was coming out of Auburn University, he would pair the splitter with his, above average fastball, and it just had the tumbling action where the splitter would just dive down on hitters, and you saw that same pitch really come out for the first time like that in his big league career. So to me, that gives me a lot of confidence moving forward that Casey Mize isn't just going to be your 5th pitcher in your rotation. It gives me confidence that Casey Mize is going to contend for his 2nd straight All-Star game. And I think that's where I'll start with my overreactions here, fellas, to this past series. Casey Mize is going to contend to be on the All-Star game for the 2nd straight season. Also, Casey Mize is in a contract year, fellas. People shine in contract seasons. Casey showed out last night. And although the boys lost and fell apart, and we'll get to that, Casey Mize was a true bright spot, which gives me hope for this rotation going forward. Fellas, is anybody calling that an overreaction in the studio, that he's going to contend for his 2nd straight All-Star game?
No, I totally agree. And the one thing is, going into last year, right, we did not see him making an All-Star team because he had, surgery. He did not look like he was the Casey Mize that we drafted out of Auburn. And then last year, he pitched great. He had 14 wins. And then when he pitched last night, he had 9 strikeouts. He had everything going for him. And it's almost like we had written Casey Mize off going into last year. This year, we're like, you know what? We'll see what he can do. Can he replicate what he did last year? And so far, it's looking pretty promising. I totally agree with you on that.
Fellas, Casey Mize, happy with what you've seen last night into, some time to, process kind of Casey Mize going out there. And he was projected to be the worst starter on this Tiger team. I know a lot of people will get to Verlander a little bit later, but Casey Mize, you buying in Gordon that he can compete for a 2nd straight All-Star?
Yeah, I think not only he can compete for a 2nd straight All-Star, I think he's a guy that could compete to be the 2nd best pitcher on this team. That's a little bit of my hot take there. Right, I know. So, listen, Framber Valdez, a little bit of an older pitcher, just got paid. I think he's great, but being a ground ball pitcher, you're bound to give up a little bit of contact, and we'll see how that goes. wasn't huge with what I saw from Frambler last season. I really hope he can be great. I think he'll be all right, but I think Casey Mize will be very hungry this year. I think he's going to get after it, and I just hope that he can get some FN run support to help him out, because it's very frustrating watching a guy like Casey go out there, give it his all for however many innings, and get absolutely nothing in return from his teammates.
And that's going to be a lot of the theme, sadly, for today in this Detroit Tigers team, because they put up 5 runs in the 3rd inning yesterday, where he was able to cruise with basically a 4-run lead after they were able to put up 1 run in the 4th inning. But Casey looked great all of yesterday, besides that 2nd inning when he got out of a bases-loaded jam, which was massive for him to put up a 0 in that inning. But yesterday, the fellas went off in the 3rd inning, getting that run support, every single thing that you want to see out of a team. They were doing it last night. Even Kevin McGonigle, infield single. You saw Riley Green have some fun with a hit. He had a couple RBIs. Colt Keith just missed a home run. And you think about, everybody had hits yesterday besides Torque, McKinstry, and Vierdeling. So this team was cruising. Parker even looked good at times. So everything looked good in that 3rd inning. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. The floodgates are open here, fellas. This is what we were waiting for. The Detroit Tigers offense is ready to explode. And then they had no hits and 1 walk, I believe, after that inning. I mean, how can you talk about 2 polar opposite teams? What is going on with this offense? Because to me, if I see another ground ball to second base, I might throw my TV through my remote through my TV screen, because it's been unbelievable. The weak contact to the right side of the infield from all of our lefty bats. They've been keeping these guys off balance, to say the least, Jeff.
And you know what? It's disappointing, Nick. Like today, especially when you got Kevin McGonigle hits a triple, right? First career triple, by the way. And then you know what you have to do. You're down by a run. You if you're a Glaber, you just want to get this run in. I would have loved to seen him get that ball into the outfield, into the air, because with McGonigle's speed, you don't have to hit it deep into the outfield for him to tag up and score that run. You just need to get him home. That's the objective. Get these guys home. And it's the clutch hitting that seems to be sort of the issue for the Tigers. Like, who is going to be that person that consistently steps up when clutch moments arrive and are not going to hit into double plays or strike out at the batter's box, especially when you have guys in scoring position. Like, when these guys are in scoring position, you need to get them home. Like, that's the objective. And it seems like the Tigers have just continued to struggle with this. And it dates back from last season. Like, I don't want to see the Tigers do what they did last season and just win off the strength of, okay, yeah, Skubal didn't let up a run today. Like, at all. He didn't let up anything. Like, you have to give these guys support. This rotation is going to need your support. If you're an offensive, this Tigers offense, it looks better than what it was last season, because you see
it does.
The arrival of Kevin McGonigle. You see Colt Keith getting more comfortable here in his 3rd year, and you see Dylan Dingler getting comfortable in his 2nd year.
Ding dong.
Is it crazy to say that these guys, these 3 young guys, are literally leading the team right now? Like, these guys are putting the team on their back. It's a rookie, a sophomore, and a junior putting the whole team on their back and literally carrying them to get runs. Like, it shouldn't be this. Like, there's a reason why we have Glaber, because we know he is the vet. We need Riley Green to stop striking out so much. That is something that we do. I want to see him clean it up.
Yeah.
Now, I understand the strikeouts are going to come when you are asking him to hit with power, but if you're going to do that, I need you to hit with power. And he's done so these past 2 games. He's kind of got it going, but we got to get on the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I want to say just a quick shout out to a couple of guys that I talked about possibly landing in free agency for the Detroit Tigers. Bo Bichette is hitting 200 for the New York Mets, and Alex Bregman was hitting 190 coming into today with a 261 OBP. those were two of the guys that I talked about personally. So
It's early, though.
it is early, which we
early.
know they have the track
This is
record.
overreactions.
It is. So I'm not going to pile on Scott Harris too bad right now, which I still think we should have brought in a bat to pair with Kevin McGonigle,
Yes.
with the development
Another
of
vet.
all the young guys.
Another vet.
Another vet would have been nice for sure, but I'm not going to go crazy yet. Although, shout out Eugenio Suarez balling with a home run
That was
today.
Bomb!
Yeah.
Man.
Eugenio getting the
Jesus.
job done with 6 RBIs on the season. So shout out Eugenio in Cincinnati. But this isn't about Cincy, and it's not about missing out on Bo Bichette or Alex Bregman right now because the players in-house, this is the path that Scott Harris, the president of baseball operations of the Detroit Tigers, chose to go, Ryan. So we are depending on the development of our own guys. And also, our guys not taking massive steps back, which we have seen Kerry Carpenter clearly take a step back through the first 6 games of the season here. So, Kerry Carpenter, what's he going to be? Can he be consistent for this Detroit Tigers team? I think putting him in that one spot, maybe didn't give him the confidence that he needed, but moved by A.J. Hinch, going back to Colt Keith, who has always succeeded in that one spot. I was able to talk to him last year about his approach. Colt Keith, while hitting in that one spot, and the big thing Colt said to me is unless you're at the back end of the lineup turning over and, the first 2 guys just immediately, get outs like early in their at-bat. Like, besides that and taking pitches, there's really not too much different. And the way Colt looks up there, completely calm and composed. He looks loose with kind of the tall batting stance right now. It's
a little bit of change. And
I'm not saying he's this player, but I will say the batting stance looks a little Shohei-esque. Just how tall it is with that bat straight up. Call me crazy.
They're both left-handed?
But just the batting stance looks like that right now of Shohei Ohtani. He's not Shohei Ohtani. Don't get it twisted. But he looks confident, calm, and collected up there. And I believe Colt Keith is...
He should have 2 home runs right now, Nick.
What's up?
He should have 2 home runs right now.
He should have 2 home runs.
If they were playing anywhere else besides Chase Field, there would have been a home
hate
run.
Arizona.
Jesus.
Honestly, I mean, underreaction. I hate Arizona. That's where I'm at with that. Ryan, how are you feeling about Colt Keith right now, who looks like the best hitter on this team?
Yeah, right now, what's funny? I'm so glad you guys brought up Colt Keith and, how he's doing so far this year. Look, he's batting .364. He's tied with McGonigle, but he's hitting with more power. And this was a crazy stat that I read earlier today, right? So his swing speed is 70.7 miles per hour, right? That's what he averages, 70.7. And right now, this season, 70.7 last year. He's averaging 73.4 this year. So he went from 132nd in the league at swing speed to 61st in the league. And sometimes, so far this year, they've clocked him at 80 to 81 on his swing speed. He's hitting with more power. So I think he got stronger during the offseason, changed up that batting stance. And you know what? It's starting to pay off. Like you said, he should have 2 dingers by now. But he is hitting with power. He is playing great baseball right now, and that's really, really good to see.
Ryan, don't tell him that, man, that he's going to have a random a P test coming up.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Oh.
BDs. Oh, man.
That's an overreaction.
My entire childhood is ruined because all the players that I looked up to, all the players that I loved were all juiced. Shout out to Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. I remember that season. It was unbelievable.
I mean, we
but
got to be honest.
They were juiced.
Bring back the juice.
We got to be
Yeah, you know
honest
what?
here.
Why not just give
Bring
these guys
it back.
let them do steroids and be like, you know what, whoever can come out with the best steroid to hit the most home runs. Hey, baseball was a lot of fun in 1998. Go back
Listen,
and
hey,
look.
listen. Listen. Baseball is split into eras, right? You have your Babe Ruth era. Those are a bunch of little league players
Bunch
out
of
there
plumbers
playing
and carpenters.
baseball. And then you have the steroid era, which was the most exciting era of baseball.
Yeah, baby.
All right, listen. And the thing is, you can't take away from any of these guys because everybody was using steroids. So therefore, it doesn't really matter if Sammy and Mark were using steroids because everyone else was using steroids too. They just look better while doing it.
And the best way to put this is if you guys seen the movie The Benchwarmers?
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
so
Carlos, I am 12.
Yeah, they go out and get Carlos, and they're like, "Hey, Carlos, can you show us your birth certificate?" And he just opens up a piece of paper that says, "I am 12," and then all of a sudden, boom, he's hitting home run after home run, and it's like, "Wow, this guy's amazing." Yeah, he was like 35.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat joining us. Drop down your favorite player of the steroid era. If you are, Super Chats will be read as well. Make sure you guys smash that like button on your way in. And we were just talking about some, obviously, big time
Kohloff power.
some big time power there by the heavyweights, but one of these guys that needs to pick it up, and this is where I'm going to start with my overreaction that is bad before I get to my first one that is good. Kerry Carpenter will strike out more than Riley Green in 2025. Ryan, is this an overreaction? Kerry Carpenter has started the season extremely slow. It doesn't look like he's been comfortable at the plate whatsoever. And it's not just the fastball up. He can't lay off that breaking ball down low either, fellas. He is missing down. He is missing up. He has no control of the strike zone right now. My overreaction through this last series and in San Diego is that Kerry Carpenter will strike out more than Riley Green did in 2025 when he led the American League. Fellas, is this an overreaction?
Oh, man.
Complete overreaction. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
He might not get
Gordo.
that
Let's hear Gordo. Come on, Gordo.
Hey, we're going to dig into the numbers a little bit, all right? Last season, Kerry Carpenter, 106 strikeouts through 130 games. Riley Green, 201 strikeouts through 157 games.
Which broke the Detroit Tigers' record of Cecil Fielders.
Yeah, listen. He only played like 20 games less and had half the amount of strikeouts as Riley Green. I think Riley Green is going to clean it up just a little bit this year. And I don't think... I mean, Kerry Carpenter, he had a good season last year, but I don't expect him to, be an absolute stinker. I would expect him to have a similar season as last year. So I think Kerry Carpenter, let's say Riley will get like 180 this year. I don't think Kerry Carpenter is going to come close to 180 strikeouts.
I think that's what you're asking for, though. For out of Riley Green, you just don't want him to get up there 200. All right, don't get north of 200.
I'd be okay
right?
with 160.
Let's keep it down just a little bit.
160.
All right?
I'd be thrilled
you
with,
still
I
want him
think.
to hit with power. You don't want Riley to not hit with power. So
Exactly.
He's going to strike out sometimes in route of trying to hit for power, but just 200 and something. Yeah, we got to cut it back just a little bit.
Well,
and with Kerry Carpenter though, like the reason why I think it's not going to happen is because I think if Kerry Carpenter was striking out that much, he just wouldn't be getting at bats. Period. There would be someone taking his spot immediately. You just can't take Riley Green out of that spot.
Are you in the same page there, Ryan, with Kerry Carpenter?
Yeah, I don't think Kerry Carpenter will, have more strikeouts than Riley Green. Now, speaking of Riley Green, with his 201 strikeouts last year and the way he's been striking out so far, it could possibly I think he's going to get close to 200 strikeouts again, as much as I hate to say that.
Riley?
Yes. And if that does happen, all respect to Riley. When we opened up the season, we were hoping that he hits 40 home runs, which he still might do. I think we'd have to buy him a tennis racket.
Yeah, definitely about that. And this is just overreactions right here that we concocted. I have a good one after this. But Kerry's currently on pace for 324 strikeouts here.
So it's valid. It's a valid thought.
It's a thought, but I'm with Jeff on this one. I don't think that he would get the at-bats if he was doing this consistently.
Buddy's getting the spot too.
Plus, I believe in Kerry's ability to make adjustments.
Yeah.
He has started this season out obviously very cold, but I think Kerry, we have seen him do damage and thrive in clutch situations. I don't think that he is going to strike out more than Riley Green this year or last year. That is an overreaction. I agree here, fellas.
One thing I want to add on to that, if Kerry Carpenter were to strike out as much as Riley Green, then I think A.J. Hinch would just go to Wenzel Perez.
Absolutely.
Wenzel Perez
that's what we're
offers
saying.
you far a lot more in the outfield. He's just, he's actually dependable glove out there. And, if Carey's slumping, we've had Wenzel sitting in Toledo for a little bit. I'm sure he'll be in there for a little bit longer, consistently probably being one of the best statistical players on that team, staying hot. You bring in a Wenzel Perez to this roster if a Kerry Carpenter is just not playing up to snuff, and I think that's a big addition, a big boost to this lineup.
Right there. I'm with you on that one. And with a negative one to start this one, let's get to a fun one, fellas. We've talked about him all day. I compared his batting stance to Shohei Ohtani's. We're going with the third-year Detroit Tigers infielder who has played all over the diamond. He's played third. He's played second. He's played first. He's hit DH. His name's Colt Keith, and he is blistering the baseball all over the field right now. Should have multiple home runs. I'm going with this one, boys. Colt Keith will make his first All-Star game in 2026 for the Detroit Tigers. Ryan, we're going to start with you. Is this an overreaction?
No, I'm right there with you.
All right.
I agree. And the reason why, look, the last 2 seasons, he's had, 14 home runs apiece, right? So right now he's batting .364. He's looking good everywhere. I mean, one thing I'd like to point out in today's game, that was a lovely thing to hear on the radio. McGonigle to Torres to Colt Keith. They turned a lot of double plays today.
Yep.
Colt Keith, I think this year could hit 20 home runs, and I think he could get anywhere between, I'd say, 75 and 90 RBIs. And I think he will make the All-Star team. And I totally like your call on that one.
Going to Gordo here. I honestly think if he is in that leadoff spot, I don't hate that number at all. Just depending on, you're going to have to depend on guys like Parker and Javi to get on base, Jake Rogers for you. So I don't hate that number of RBIs if he is in that leadoff spot. But if he's absolutely crushing this baseball, I wouldn't be shocked if he moves down a little bit to try to get guys like Torres and like McGonigle on for a guy like Colt Keith if a Kerry Carpenter isn't able to produce into Spencer Torkelson. So I do like that number of RBIs. Gordon, where are you at with Colt Keith possibly making his first All-Star game in 2026? Is this an overreaction?
No, I don't think this is an overreaction at all.
All right.
I think this is very reasonable. Colt Keith, he's earning quite a bit of money every year. He's got like $4 million a year, and they gave him like a 6-year deal that was a total of like $28 million. He's one of the only guys on this team that's actually signed to a big deal. So my expectations for Colt Keith have always been pretty high in the last couple of seasons. I've been disappointed, but I'm very optimistic with the way he started out. One thing I wanted to bounce back at you is if Colt is looking very good at first.
Yep.
And Torque is continuing to struggle hitting. What do you think? Do you think something could happen there? Do you think AJ would pull the trigger to have a more competent infield? Because Torque, he's okay at first, but if he's totally a gaping hole when it comes to on the plate, then I don't know how much usefulness he has in this team. Or in this lineup.
We mentioned that a little bit earlier, so I do think that you could see Keith in there if it is against right-handed pitching and, you're not seeing what you need to out of Torkelson against righties because he does do well against lefties, if I'm not mistaken, last season. So that is when you could see it against the different, right-handed versus left-handed pitching. So we'll have to see on that one. But I will say, before we completely bounce off Colt Keith, this is and was the first contract that Scott Harris ever gave up.
Yeah.
And it was before Colt Keith ever played a game in the major leagues. So as you're seeing right now is the new hot trend right now in baseball with Emerson, getting the big bag from Seattle as well. I'm excited to hear Colt's thoughts on that hopefully soon here. But this organization believes in Colt Keith as they have proven to not get infield help on multiple occasions because of Colt Keith and because of his power numbers that he was able to put up throughout the minor leagues. He's a big kid. This dude is You know,
he's not Kevin McGonigle. This dude's he's built.
He's big. He is powerful. He's strong. Like, this guy is going to be able to hit, and for that exit velocity right now to just be skyrocketing in the right direction, I am all in on Colt Keith making his first All-Star game for the Detroit Tigers. But, Jeff, could we get a clean sweep here in the studio?
Absolutely. I mean,
you're in?
Absolutely. Because you look at what Colt Keith, when we first started hearing Colt Keith was starting to get some momentum down there in the minors. Like, he had a little bit of hype going into him, especially within this Tigers organization. I know fans were definitely excited to have this guy move up because we thought we would be able to see some of that power that he had possessed. Now, through his first 2 seasons, he struggled with kind of the ball to bat skills to actually showcase that power off, striking out and not getting on base and things like that. But when he does make contact, like we've seen this throughout this Arizona series, and that, by the way, huge ballpark. So don't think that those doubles were actually doubles. Those are like home runs in like almost any other ballpark. So like this dude right now, he is absolutely raking, and if he can pick it up, like especially being at first base, like that's someone that can absolutely make an All-Star roster. We remember like Zach McKinstry made the All-Star roster. Like, of course, I think Colt Keith can make an All-Star roster.
Yeah, I mean the team's gonna need to get the wins behind it. Obviously they need to get this back on track against St. Louis ASAP. As we talked about, Colt Keith getting that contract early. I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle tries to do something similar with their top 10 prospect, J.J. Weatherholt, who was and is a still just phenomenal prospect. He's with the big league club. We'll see what he has on opening day, which we will preview just a little bit later. But sounds like we're all in on Colt Keith, fellas. That is a great one. Good one to hear. Obviously a young, talented infielder for the Detroit Tigers, who I do have faith in, as does, not just this organization, but the skip, the manager, A.J. Hinch as well. Putting him in that one spot, that's a ton of pressure on a young hitter, but now him in his third season, A.J. Hinch does trust him in that spot, and he does look more comfortable in the field right now, whether it is at third, whether it is at first base. Colt Keith looks more comfortable here in his third season, and I do believe you can see his first All-Star appearance. Speaking of All-Star appearances, fellas, multi-time All-Star, Cy Young winner, MVP, World Series champion, Justin Verlander made his debut with the Detroit Tigers. I wish I didn't see it, but here we go here, fellas.
Rough.
JV, yeah, those thoughts about him potentially having a sub, 3.5, little Kenny Rogers flashbacks to 06. All that came crashing down very quickly as Justin Verlander went 3.2 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, and did not look quite sharp. The command wasn't there. He was missing pitches inside, and they were doing damage on the baseball. So Justin Verlander getting cooked, getting rocked, which I'm not going to overreact too much, but I'll say this. Justin Verlander will lose 10-plus games for just the 5th time in his career with the Detroit Tigers.
You would hope not, Nick.
I hope not. I mean, I for sure hope not.
But you would hope that this offense is going to get going and help this rotation out. Like.
So are you saying it's an overreaction?
I think
because Justin Verlander losing 10-plus games, it would be the 5th time doing so in his, obviously.
Skubal just got a loss today.
Historical career. What was that?
One earned run. Skubal got a loss today. I think, of course, it's possible with this offense right now.
This one's possible for sure. And I try to keep you guys on your toes with the 10-plus games, but
he did look good toward his last 2 innings in that game. He looked a lot better than the way it started, which is that's something to look forward to.
Ryan,
well,
Gord, are you out?
Yeah, Gord, go ahead. He's got something.
Listen, Unk might not have it anymore.
That's grapes.
I really hate to say
That's
it.
grapes.
But yeah, no, at this point, it really is Gramps. I mean, he really is Graybeard out there. No, listen, I'm not going to give up on Justin Verlander just yet. We've only seen one plate appearance or mound appearance from him, so I'm not completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But I am very concerned, and I think that if he does approach over double-digit losses, could we see him relegated to the bullpen? I think if we have like a Troy Melton coming back, if he becomes healthy,
it's going to be a while for the Young Bucks. Sadly, Troy Melton and Jackson Jobe. It is going to be a long time for those two arms. Reese Olson out for the year.
Yeah.
So our three.
That's been where you been. That was 2 months ago.
Our three young arms
not good news.
are being down is a little concerning, especially when Drew Anderson, that fifth.
Oh my
sixth
God!
guy, I mean, fellas, do you feel comfortable with Drew Anderson on the mound right
Oh
now?
my
Send
gosh,
him to
this
the
guy.
minors immediately.
Send him back.
I mean,
to Korea.
seriously. Like I can't make this
No
up. Like,
faith?
no faith in this guy. Whatsoever. I've
No.
seen this guy in 2 games, and all he's done is just get teed off on. No,
Seriously.
send him back to Korea. He didn't belong here.
Oh,
What the hell?
That was the first signing of this offseason for the Detroit Tigers, Drew Anderson. So, no, I do not believe JV will get relegated because he needs to eat innings for
And he's
this
gonna
Detroit
if
Tiger team.
he's your fifth guy.
Yeah.
And I trust him better than Drew Anderson right now. Obviously, the three young arms in Melton, Reese Olson, and Jobe all recovering from injury, which we won't see Olson this year. It's going to be very late in the season. Jackson Jobe throwing catch three times a week, up to 120 feet. And
And you don't want to rush it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to rush those three arms, what you
Especially
might need.
Especially Joe.
No, God.
Yeah, I mean,
seen
specifically
some of the
for
potential.
next season,
Yeah,
you're
you've
going to
seen
need
the
all three
potential.
of those guys if Tarik Skubal isn't here, and you're going to need all three to be
absolutely.
good, which this isn't a Skubal breakdown episode. Ryan, where are you at with JV? Will he lose 10-plus games, and what did you have on some of the
I
thoughts?
think, you know what? I think it's going to be close. And the funny thing is, today we actually witnessed a Verlander. And the reason why I say that is when Justin Verlander was in his prime and he was pitching in Detroit, what is one thing the Detroit offense could not do when he pitched good? Score runs. So we saw that happen today to Skubal. Now,
It's been happening for Scoob for the past
for a while.
2
It seems
years.
like they're doing the same thing. But
Every
now,
Cy Young he's had to get it out the mud.
so I think, yes, JV, it's very possible that he could lose 10 games, if not more, this year. We don't want to see that. We hope it doesn't happen. But I think JV is going to step up once this team gets in the playoffs. Like you said, Kenny Rogers, when he was pitching for the Tigers back in 2006, what'd he do? He stepped up majorly when we were in the playoffs and in the World Series. So you know what? Right now, I will say he'll like you said, I would say between 8 and 10 games. So yes, it's not an overreaction. I think him being 43 years old, the major league season takes a toll on your body, and he is not the young Justin Verlander that we saw when he was a Tiger when he was young. So, all the accolades, they're all there. I think he just wanted to come back, do a great job for the Tigers, and I think it's going to end up happening in the postseason if we can get there.
Yep, shout out Jonathan Anton in the chat. JV always started slow, not concerned at all. Good point by
It was his first
Jonathan. Jackaroo, Jobe vacancy. We'll see with Jobe. I have a lot of faith in Jobe still to be really good. He was a super talented arm, just no rush on that one. But with JV, this is...
It was his first
I'm
start.
going to say
Come
this is
on.
a fair reaction, but we're going over-under. I'm going to say overreaction by yours truly. I don't think he loses 10 games for this team. I think it means too much to him. I think Dylan Dingler being a Gold Glove catcher, although it doesn't matter as much as it did prior with the frame mogging that Dylan Dingler used to get away with, he's not able to do as much now with the challenge system.
Can we talk about that
of the
challenge
ABS?
system? Oh my goodness.
That was brutal. But Justin Verlander, I think it means too much. With Chris Fetter, with Dylan Dingler, with AJ Hinch, I think he'll figure it out. I don't think he will lose 10 games for this team. I think he'll get good, favorable matchups against other teams' later starters, which will go big. I think as the summer turns up so will he. He had a sub-3 ERA in his last 59 innings with the San Francisco Giants last season, fellas. He has it in him still. I think it's just going to take him some time to work up to that guy. And hopefully he heats up at the same time. Well, hopefully these bats heat up way prior to that. But, hopefully they heat up for him as well. Because they haven't for guys like Casey Mize and Tarik Skubal.
Yeah, they got to start providing some offense. And I think if we were to provide the offense on those games that he does pitch, it'll definitely help him. Definitely if he goes in, deeper into innings and into games. So, and the one thing that I heard before the season started, I know that he was being interviewed and they asked him if his pregame meal was still Taco Bell, because when he was here, that was his pregame meal and he dominated every time he had it. So maybe Justin Verlander has to go back to some Taco Bell.
Shout out to you, Ryan. That's a stat that none of us knew, and that's why we got you and nobody else does. Ryan breaking it down. Pregame T-Bell feels like it probably wouldn't be great. I had 6 tacos before the 40 the night before. Also probably wasn't great.
You think JV's a Crunchwrap guy, or you think he's a chalupa? What do you think is his go-to?
I would say Crunchwrap maybe.
Crunchwrap. That seems like the easy choice.
Something basic right there.
Maybe he is like a give me 3 supreme taco type of guy.
I don't know
he's getting
about
one
that.
of the combo boxes.
But speaking of threes here, fellas, Kevin McGonigle with his first career triple today for the Detroit Tigers, and this is where I want to go with this.
Kid's elite, man.
Reaction. Kevin McGonigle will lead the Detroit Tigers in average in 2025 and make an All-Star game. Woo. Kevin McGonigle, rookie All-Star, leading the team in average, the projected favorite to win the American League Central is the Tigers. Will Kevin McGonigle have a better average than the likes of Dylan Dingler, the likes of Gleyber Torres? I think that's all you can really talk about when you talk about average, because the MLB's top 10 rookies go down with Kevin McGonigle at number 1 on that list, better than the guy that pitched the gold medal game for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, Nolan McLean, and J.J. Weatherholt, who I talked about earlier, coming into town, along with Chase DeLauter. I am going to be so salty if the Guardians got another great, but DeLauter's been hitting some bombs there in Cleveland. But Kevin McGonigle, number 1 on the rookie list. Fellas, where are you guys at? Can Kevin McGonigle lead the Tigers in average and is All-Star? Too much of an expectation for the young, talented rookie Gordo.
Yeah, listen. Sky's the limit with this kid. I don't want to put too much on him.
This is overreactions.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't know.
Honestly, I think he's got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think Rookie of the Year is a lot more of a lock than having the best average on the team. But if anybody has the opportunity or the physical ability to, it's a guy like Kevin McGonigle who can, take these pitchers for long counts. He's great at getting on base. He keeps those strikeout numbers low. This guy can, rack up a lot of at-bats, and I think, those numbers add up after a while. Kevin McGonigle is the kind of guy that can be your Rookie of the Year and lead your team in averages. I believe it.
Shout out. I love that answer, Gordo. Where are you at with this one, Ryan? Because Kevin McGonigle getting his first triple today. He was doing it for this Tigers team, besides obviously leaving, Colt Keith stranded on 1. Kevin McGonigle showed out today. I think sky's the limit. MLB ranking him the number 1 rookie in all of baseball, not just the American League. So right now, do you think he can lead the Detroit Tigers in average and also make an All-Star game?
Yes, I think it's very possible. I mean, right now he's tied with the best average on the team with Colt Keith at 364. He's playing loose. He's only played 6 games. When you're a rookie and you're coming into this, I mean, you're just happy that you're there. But this man skipped Double-A. So, we can't, we got to pump the brakes a little bit because he's going to go into this season. There are going to be some times where he does struggle. But I think he very much can lead this team in average. I think he will win the Rookie of the Year award. I do think we have a star on our hands, and I do think he will make the All-Star team. I really can see that. If he doesn't make the All-Star team, it'll definitely be close. But I do think there's a lot. There's some big things ahead for this kid. I'm very excited to watch him. And so far, it's been you can't miss TV. You got to watch this guy play.
That's where I'm at with it right now. Jeff, are you going to talk us off of a ledge here with some overreactions from the rookie?
I'm not. So don't.
You're not?
If you are looking for it, you're not going to find it here. Listen, this guy is – when you talk about a complete hitter, that's what you see in Kevin McGonigle. The reason why I feel like he can lead this team in batting average is because you look at his on-base percentage, like he's not going to strike out a lot. He's going to – either get a hit or he's going to get a walk. So this guy has elite vision, elite ball-to-bat skills, and he continues to showcase more and more of his talents. Like, look at that speed. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm going to see Kevin McGonigle beat out a throw because he hustles out of the box. Like, there are certain things and intangibles that you look at with Kevin McGonigle and say, yeah, you got one. You got one. And he's gonna lead the Tigers in batting average. And he's definitely, for me, I'm locking him in as Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
I'm going to lock that.
I'm with you. Lock it up.
Hey, like we said, All-Star. Hey, if Zach McKinstry can make All-Star, Kevin McGonigle can.
Shout out. Yeah, I don't think this is an overreaction, and I might be putting way too many expectations on Kevin McGonigle here, Gordon, as you said. But I don't think that it's too big for this specific player. I heard AJ Hinch talk about Kevin McGonigle. I've heard Scott Harris talk about McGonigle. They're not shying away from it. They talked about his mindset, the way that he's always approached baseball, is if he's prepared, he's ready to lock in and do damage.
Nick, what's the famous saying?
What was that?
What's the famous saying? Pressure makes diamonds.
Let's go. I like it, Jeff.
If he's going to be underneath a lot of pressure, that's the guy you want to have the pressure stacked on because that dude's going to make diamonds out of it. 100%.
I like that a lot right there. And pressure does make diamonds. Kevin McGonigle, you heard it. Clean sweep, lead the Tigers in average, and make an all-star game for that overreaction right here. And, yeah, I'm feeling really good about Kevin McGonigle, Colt Keith, Dylan Dingler for this team right now. Gleyber Torres is still drawing walks. But one of the things
guys
that
are dragging you, aren't they? They got you in a backpack. They're kind of just like dragging everyone else along.
Yeah, right now they are.
Jesus,
this offense specifically.
The youngsters.
But we talk about, this is what I'm feeling good about, fellas. One thing I thought I was going to feel really great about before we dive into a little bit of this series for opening day and what Framber Valdez is going to have to do to get the boys back on track. The people behind him in the bullpen need to get back on track because what in the hell did I watch the last two games before this one?
My goodness.
When you're talking about last night, Casey Mize shoved 6 innings, 1 earned run, 9 Ks. Then we got Drew Anderson from the KBO, big signing for the Tigers.
Get him out
Gave
of
up
here.
2 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, but obviously the damage was already done. Will Vest comes in. He gives up 3 earned runs without pitching an inning and had 2 walks. Will Vest usually has pretty solid control. And then Kenley Jansen giving up the biggest home run
Jesus.
It never
that
landed.
I've seen on his little pause delivery.
Talk about their rook.
He was just pausing up there like a statue, letting the other guy get all ready to unload on that ball.
Their rook
And
had a game.
Unload
He
he
unloaded
did.
that one.
As we had a 96% chance to win the game in this bullpen with guys like Anderson, Vest, and Jansen, who this organization is going to be relying upon a lot. Completely blew it for a guy like Casey Mize, your 5th starter who went out there and shoved, went out there and was ready to win a series for you or give you a chance to with Skubal going today. This Detroit Tigers team should be 4-2 right now, coming back home, but instead they're 2-4, and it starts with that bullpen.
And the
who
bullpen.
I am
Nick,
just so salty at right now because they truly let him down. Bring in old schooler Jansen. Bring in new guy Anderson, whose stuff looked pretty good in spring,
him back to
but he
Korea.
looked brutal. Will Vest, dude, you can't walk 2 guys. Make them hit you.
Send
Please.
Will Vest with him.
Come
Yeah.
on.
3 earned
Will.
runs. 3 earned runs.
Hey. This show, we do not tolerate any Will Vest disrespect.
Yeah.
Now, one guy that I do want to shovel some dirt on real quick. I've been shoveling dirt on his name since last year. Tyler Holton, you terrorist. I am sick and tired of watching Tyler Holton. This guy, when wild pitches, the stuff that's not even in the zone, I am so sick and tired of watching Tyler Holton. I want to find out what baseball writers were voting that guy, were people giving him Cy Young votes? Absolutely insane stuff. A couple years ago, I should say. Tyler Holton, I want to get this off my chest now because I don't think enough people are saying it. Not a fan of Tyler Holton. I don't think he's a productive arm in this bullpen, and I think that's a guy that is going to get called out.
He says Cy Young. It's like, dude, is weed legal? Oh, yeah, it is.
No, it's 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Well, Tyler Holton was great 2 years ago and 3 years ago, but last year he did take a little bit of a step back.
Trash.
I've seen Tyler Holton. I've talked to Tyler Holton. I think he can still be productive, but last time he went out, what Tyler Holton can't do is walk two batters. He had a scoreless inning his last time out, but he walked two batters. I cannot see that out of Tyler Holton. You can't be coming in out of this bullpen and giving up free base runners, boys. That is rule number one. Make them beat you. He also had a strikeout as well. 0 ERA so far for Tyler Holton. I will say, on Gordo disrespect, he was ready to pop off.
Nick, it all starts with the Korean. He got in there. He started pitching horribly. As a matter of fact, the first inning that he arrived in on that game, he actually did a great job. He got him out that inning unscathed. So going into the second, maybe you should have just pulled him then, because then the downfall really just started. And then once it started, Will Vest came in. It turned into a waterfall. And then Kenley Jens came in. It turned into a tsunami real quick.
No, for you guys, Tyler Holton, my guy for me is Drew Anderson. We saw him in the opening game, and it was like, who is this guy coming from South Korea? Struggled yesterday. Struggled every time I see him. Now, granted, this is way back in the day, a guy that I cringed when he pitched. His name was Steve Sparks. He was a knuckleballer. Totally different type of pitcher. But Drew Anderson, I get that same feeling every time he takes the mound. I'm like, okay, how many runs is he going to give up? Who's going to hit this ball here? I mean, he gave up a home run in the first game of the season. Yeah. So, for me, Drew Anderson, I don't like. Right now, I do not like him in the bullpen. I think that he needs to be sent down or sent somewhere because I just can't stand to watch this guy.
You got to send him back to Korea. I mean, Ryan, look, I don't want to get to the point to where the Tigers are up. It was 5-0, right?
5-1.
5-1.
We were up 5-1.
Why should I be nervous?
No.
Why should I be nervous seeing the
be.
Korean come in a 5-1 game? Like,
you shouldn't be at all.
You shouldn't be.
Absolutely not. Like this,
your bullpen.
If we're giving them that, you got to go.
Your bullpen is supposed to come in and shut things down when you're up 5-1, not give up 3 runs.
Not three. They gave up 7.
And that's where I want to go with this one, because the game before, when Justin Verlander struggled, you're thinking, all right, this one's probably out of the way. Oh, wait. Here go the Tigers' bats in the 7th inning, putting up a 6th spot. But don't worry, because De Jesus gave up 3 runs.
By the way,
came in the 5th. And I like De Jesus and what I was seeing in him. So this bullpen right now, to me, is an absolute problem.
Yeah.
Coming back home to Comerica Park, currently I am not confident in this bullpen. Overreaction, underreaction. This bullpen blows right now for the Detroit Tigers. But in all seriousness, it's early. Obviously, everyone's ERA is going to be inflated, but De Jesus looked great in the World Baseball Classic. He comes in here and has struggled with the Detroit Tigers. You got a guy in Brant Herter giving up an earned run as well. Finnegan and Holton put up zeros that day, but right now it's this bullpen is either A, costing us the game, or B, not keeping us in the game. No, so I need to see this Detroit Tigers bullpen show up at home, because I will specifically be booing from the press box, probably get kicked out if I hear that if I see one of these relievers blow a goddamn save. I'm gonna be flipping out.
It's a give or take right now, isn't it? Because you get to a point where you're up 5-1 and you're thinking, oh yeah, this is done. All right, put
Yep.
the relievers in.
Exactly.
They're supposed to just do the job. Just don't get teed off on.
I'm gonna lose
They
my
get
shit
teed off
on opening day.
So for me, it's like this. Why is it that when late in games, our bullpen gives up, absurd amount of runs, and then late in games, our offense finally wants to show up? It's a give or take. It's like the good angel, and then you got the evil angel over here. It's like, what the hell?
Look, opening day, Friday, it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it. I think, we all are. We're all looking forward to it.
We're going to have a live stream. Make sure you guys tap in for that. I believe the fellas will be at Buddy's Pizza. Hopefully we will have some select, interviews and updates from the field that I can, give to you guys so you have them for the live show. And also, some obvious big reactions with some fans. So make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. For that one, it's going to be a lot of fun, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm just saying on opening day, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I will absolutely lose my shit if we're up by 1 run going into the 7th inning and Drew Anderson trots out onto the mound. I'm going to lose it.
I don't want to see him if that's the case. I don't want to see him unless we got a 10-run lead.
Yeah, I don't want to see him, but one guy I certainly want to see on Friday, the 3-year, $115 million pitcher for the Detroit Tigers who won the last game for the Detroit Tigers is named Framber Valdez. He gave up 6 hits, had 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 5 Ks to a 1.50 ERA in his first start. You know what he does, boys? He just induces ground balls. Weak contact ground balls. That's what you're going to see out of Framber Valdez. This defense is going to have to pick it up behind him, and this offense is going to need to put up some numbers for him. So Framber Valdez to come out on opening day is going to be so crucial to put up zeros early to try to get this Comerica Park rocking, as I know it's going to be, because everyone's going to be absolutely loaded, ready to explode. But, coming in after 4 straight losses,
got to be ready.
The Cardinals get up early, it might get quiet quick.
Yeah. You don't want to see that. Not on the home opener. Go out here, handle business. And, Nick, you said it. This defense needs to clean up its act.
Yeah.
These errors, they've had quite a bit of errors. This is not something I expect out of, the Tigers team. Usually they're the team that, tries to clean up the act and not, make those errors. Instead, you have Javi throwing it. I don't know if he thought, Cade Cunningham was over there at first base. I don't know. I didn't think Jalen Durham was over there. I don't know who he's throwing to. It was, sky high. All right? It's going for a tip ball. It's we gotta reel it in, this defense, because you can't let – and that's how the Skubal start. Remember? It was an unearned run for him, but it was still that cannot happen, especially at home.
I'm with you. It definitely can't happen. And a guy like Framber Valdez, who was just dealing all of spring as well, having a 0.98 ERA, sub-1 ERA in 18.1 innings, and dominated in his first start. You're going to need to see that defense behind him. So we talk about a guy at Torque at first. Are you going to see Colt Keith at first? Are you going to see McGonigle on that left side? We saw him kind of blow a charge in when he tried to scoop the ball up in Valdez's first start. I was thinking about, is Valdez going to give him any sketchy looks here? Just because, he's a little fiery. Threw at the catcher last season, crossed him up. So I was kind of on edge, seeing a guy like Dylan Dingler go out to the mound, try to, slow him down a little bit. A guy like Chris Fetter goes out there. He is fiery. So if the Tigers can get out early, I think it's going to be smooth sailing the whole way, because this is why you bring in a guy like Valdez. You're not relying on some of these other guys that aren't as consistent to stop the bleeding. It's been 4 straight losses for the Detroit Tigers. You're going back to Comerica Park for Valdez's first start here as a Detroit Tiger. I'm expecting, 7 innings, less than 2 runs here, fellas. That kind of dominance by Framber Valdez. Are you guys expecting anything less?
Yeah, no, I expect Framber Valdez to do what he does. This guy is going to eat up innings. He's going to generate a lot of ground balls. I think the magnifying glass, to say, is going to be on the infield defense and whether they can keep these errors down. you talked about that link between, you had McGonigle, Torres, and Keith. I really like that infield. If those guys can keep things going, or Spencer Torkelson continue to play decently, on defense, that's going to be, I think, the number one determining factor in this game is whether the infield defense can keep things in check. And also, got to give a big shout out. Speaking of infield defense, and our favorite, our Lord and Savior at shortstop, Neil Rule is in here, and he asks us about. I was told Javi is good. Was I lied to? The classic tone coming through the chat there.
Come on, Neil.
Listen, Javi, so far nothing great, but hey, that glove though, he's an elite tagger, Neil. I was told he was an elite tagger.
He is an elite tagger. That is something that he is known for.
He is an elite tagger for sure. Right now, Javier Baez needs to go back to 2025 Javi, where he is continuously not chasing these sliders low and away.
Jeez.
It's like
all-star Javi.
You get deja vu
It would be
out
10
here.
feet outside.
What happened? I heard I was being crazy on opening day.
Yeah.
When I said that.
I mean, I wasn't going to complain in the 8-1 lead that we had at the time, but yeah, I think Spenny was calling you out a little bit for being a little pessimistic about Javier Baez. He for sure needs to pick it up, and maybe it starts in the field with making a couple big plays. I saw a great throw today where he took an extra step and just completely gunned it over to first base, but we need clean defense behind a guy like Framber Valdez starting this Friday. And Javier, please lay off the goddamn slider away and the slider down and the fastball to your head.
Yeah.
You mean
I think
anything.
we're all begging for that. Shout out, Neil. We're all on the same page, brother. Yeah. I never told you Javi was elite. So
now he is. Now, Nick, one thing we do have to give
tagger.
Javi, we do have
That
to
is
give
confirmed.
We do have to
Yeah.
give Javi
No
some credit
looks.
now. Javi will make some pretty incredible plays defensively that you'll just ask yourself, like, how in the world did he make that play? Like, the play that he had to catch the ball over the shoulder, like that was a football catch. Like It's not supposed to happen like that in baseball. And for him to do that, like that was pretty clean. So it's going to be a give or take with Javi. I know that, but I just don't want it. Like you said, Nick, it's the slider away that kills you, and that fastball that rises way above his head that he's swinging at. That's what kills you.
Ryan, where are you at?
Yep. So I'm going to say that, hey, we're going into opening day, and everyone is excited. And if you look at when we signed Framber, when we did, the night before Skubal gets, signed to that arbitration deal, it's like we get to see our shiny new car on Friday, right? Mm-hmm. He had a great outing out in San Diego. So I think the Tigers are going to get back on track Friday. I think we're going to see an offense that's, playing like they should, hitting the ball like they should. The defense is going to play good, and I think the shiny new car, Mr. Framber Valdez, is going to pick up a win on Friday. It's going to be exciting. Baseball is back at Comerica Park. It's going to be awesome.
I like that a lot. I'm with you, Ryan. And make sure you guys stay tuned to Woodward Sports all season long for the Detroit Tigers. I know this was not how we wanted to do our second show, fellas. We started out opening day. It was hot in here. We were giving the Tigers a ton of credit, which they deserve. Kevin McGonigle was raking, still is, by that matter, had his first triple today. Want to give a quick shout-out to McGonigle, too, the other night in Game 2, which we haven't really hit on because it's been 4 straight losses. I mean, bases loaded, 10-pitch battle. Kevin McGonigle comes out on top against a lefty to get a 2 RBI single. Kevin McGonigle, I mean, talk about a kid that hasn't, shied away from the moment so far. It's been awesome to see. I'm with you guys on Kevin McGonigle. The hype is here, fellas, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it's not just because the hit tool, it's because his ability to see pitches and draw walks.
Elite vision.
And I think that's going to be the biggest thing you see out of a guy like Kevin McGonigle, to continue to get on base for guys like Riley Green, for guys like Spencer Torkelson, for guys like Kerry Carpenter and Dylan Dingler.
Colt Keith.
To drive them in. I mean, Colt's not leaving that one spot right
No,
now.
I think
I wouldn't take him out currently.
You might have to force your hand if he's hitting like that.
Turn into a Colt 45. He's
honestly,
coming out hot, baby.
Would you switch him?
You
Put
put-
Kevin 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't hate that
Kevin
at all. 'Cause
1,
he's gonna see some pitches.
Tough
so
at bats, baby.
wanted to give Kevin McGonigle a shout out for getting this Tiger team to a victory in that game, which was game 2. We had obviously started out 2-0, lost 4 straight. We are beating St. Louis
go.
at the Detroit
Get it.
opening day here, obviously in Detroit. This is Woodward Tigers. For Gordon, for Ryan, for Jeff, shout out to all of you guys. We will see you next time. Make sure you tap in opening day to the live stream. Hopefully we have some exclusive interviews for you guys from the field and checking in from Comerica Park all day long. I'm your host, Nicholas Kohloff. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and everybody have a great night. Hopefully, Tigers move to 3-4 on Friday. Go Tigs.
Go Tigers!